Hey guys, this is Nina Perez and this is Memoirs of a Fat Girl, going from FAT to PHAT, which is pretty healthy and terrific, in real time. Real time is taking forever. It feels like it anyway. I am here on my journey to become healthier. So we are introducing you to like really great recipes, healthy recipes. Excuse the dog because he barks every time he hears my voice. But we are here to make sure that we can try to have a healthy community. That way you know that this journey is not like a magic pill or something you can do overnight. It does take time, but it takes a lot of effort too. So you have to get off your ass and you gotta go do something about it, right? Yeah. I'm working out 6 days a week. So 3 days a week I do boot camp. The other 3 days I do weightlifting, and then I'm walking every day. This is new for me. I'm not that type of person. I used to be sitting here with bonbons and eating dinner at night. Not anymore. So this journey is you with me, making me accountable. This is why I do this, so that I can be accountable to all of you, and that way you can see my transformation from day one to whenever. So this is my friend, this is Nandita, and Nandita is here to show us a really great fish curry dish, right? Cannot wait, I'm so excited. If you haven't seen her on my show before, we made a tomato sauce, right?
That's right, Nina.
It was delicious, and I will make sure to link that right above here so that you can click and you can see that recipe as well. And that recipe was super simple, a lot of spices, a lot of different flavors going on, but it was such a delicious dish and something like super easy to make, right?
Yeah.
And you said that we were making that because it was like good for, like, I think you said for the immunity and stuff like that, right?
It's a big vitamin C boost as well.
Yeah,
it's a good food to have.
Yeah, it is. And on top of it, it's Indian food, so it has to be good, right? It has to be good. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you click like and the little bell notification so you don't miss a video. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is, this looks like salmon, but it's actually not. This is a steelhead trout. And I got this one at Costco because they have a good price there. This one I think is farm raised. It is farm raised. Well, I wanted to show you guys, we were gonna keep the skin on this fish, but I realized that they didn't scale it very well. So there's some scales on here. So just to avoid all of that being in this beautiful curry dish, we're just gonna remove the skin. You're okay with that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
good.
great. Now, have you skinned fish before? Is this something you do?
I have not, so this will be
great. Good. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys how to do this. And skinning a fish is pretty easy. I'm just checking for bones, because sometimes if you go along this white line that's in the fish, so this line here, you'll sometimes find a couple of bones sticking out. See, I feel one down here. I'm gonna have to make sure that I get like a tweezer or something to pull that out. Yeah, see it? See right here?
Nice.
Yeah, so you gotta be careful with these bones. So I'm gonna tell you guys how to do. I'm left-handed, so I'm gonna be doing it a little backwards. If you're right-handed, you're gonna do it this way. All you're gonna do is take, at the very end, you're gonna lose a couple of, maybe like a 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch. You're gonna cut down onto the skin, okay? Then you're gonna take your knife. I usually have a boning knife, but I can't find my large boning knife. I don't know where it is. Grab it from the tail. Make sure that, see how I'm cutting into the skin? All right, you're gonna cut into the skin, and once you got a good groove on, see how I'm lifting the skin off? Okay, once you got a good groove, you put your knife at like, I think this is like a 90-degree angle, and you're gonna pull the skin as you cut under the fish.
Wow.
See that? Look at that, I'm leaving no meat. Okay, it's gonna take you a few times if you haven't done this before, because it's tricky.
Yeah, it's
but
hard, Nina. Look at you.
See? Look at that. Keep going. Every few inches or 1/2 inch or so, just flip it over. Make sure that you're not cutting into this beautiful meat. Okay, knife on an angle. If you see the knife, it's still on its angle. I'm pulling. See? I'm pulling as I'm going. Pulling as I'm going.
That's the trick, to pull the skin.
The trick is to definitely pull the skin, and also have a knife that's wide. So see how it's the length of the fish?
Yeah.
If I get my smaller boning knife and it's too small, then I might leave skin on the back of this. You know what I mean? So this is to make sure that you can actually fit the entire fish. So grab the skin.
Amazing. Yeah, you're
All right, look at that.
so cool.
Cool, right? I left a little bit of meat at the end. I would have failed you for that on my culinary class. So all of you guys that I failed before, you didn't see that. So this, look at that.
That's awesome.
See, that's what you want to see, where you take off almost all of the flesh. So now when I flip this over, look at that. It's beautiful. Beautiful, except for that little chunk at the end that you didn't see. So now, how did you exactly want to cut this into?
So we can cut them into fillets, Nina, and
Okay.
like, you know, small chunks, like around 1.5 inch in length, and also do the same.
like cubes?
Like
almost?
cubes almost, like
Oh.
bigger.
So, okay, I'm gonna cut this like this.
cubes. Yeah, that's good.
And then you're gonna cut them like this?
Yes.
Oh.
So they're easy to, you know, put it for a curry dish. Smaller the better, but you don't want to go too tiny either because it's brittle. This is perfect.
This is perfect? Oh, okay, great. I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like larger chunks like this.
Oh, okay.
But you, yeah.
It's smaller, and we possibly.
So when it's big like this, do you want 3?
No, two
Two? Okay.
is good for this. Yeah. So, and Nina, you said that this fish also is pretty similar to the salmon.
It is. It has a really great texture, so it holds up really well. You know, if you get something like a white fish, it would fall apart in your curry dish.
Right.
Because if you're gonna be putting it into like the really hot curry,
Yeah.
the
would
white
just
fish would just it would just fall
like
apart.
a cod or something.
Yes,
like that.
exactly. Yep.
So Nina, like I was mentioning, very typically for this curry, one can use mackerel because that's a pretty sturdy
firm,
fish.
yeah.
It's pretty firm, and it's got a good. The taste of that fish blends really well with the curry as well. But salmon and I'm sure the trout.
Yeah, I don't
really
think you're
good
gonna
at
know
it.
the difference, to be
Right.
honest. I am allergic to salmon.
Mm.
That's why I asked if it was okay if I got trout.
Right.
Also, guys, if you don't want this long piece of like, this is like the stomach area, but it is very good. It's tender and it's very good. So it's up to you. If it gets too white, like if you see, like sometimes when you buy a fish, you'll see this part is super white. That's really the stomach lining, so you probably
Got
should
it,
discard that. Right, but
So
this,
Nina, this one. So usually what I would do is like when I would buy a fish like this, salmon looks pretty similar. So that part I would just leave it for frying on another day. When
Yeah,
you're frying a fish.
exactly, that's fine.
So
Yeah.
yeah, these pieces look good.
Okay, good, because I'm gonna make this again.
So
make
depending
sure.
on the amount of people you're going to feed, pretty much you can use that many pieces of fish. We might not necessarily need that many since it's going to cook in a smaller quantity, but we'll see if we get too excited to
No,
just put everything.
and I have grown men living in this house, so we will be fine. All right, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean up so that we can reset, and that way you can tell us the next step, okay? So we'll be right back. All right, we're back, and we are gonna go ahead and start getting some chopping away. So you want me to chop this onion, you're gonna do the tomato?
Yeah, so for this dish we can go ahead with 1 medium-sized onion,
Okay.
1 tomato.
All right.
And then we'll talk about the ingredients.
Now, do you want this just like a regular chop, or is
Just a regular chop,
Okay.
because ultimately we're gonna saute it and then grind it, so it won't matter.
Oh, okay. Oh, got it. Got it. So, Nandita, why did you pick this dish? I know we talked about the tomato sour dish and stuff, and then I'm like, I want to do another dish with you. Why this one?
Why this one is because the region that I come from in India, it's a place, the name of the state is called Karnataka, and this Mangalorean fish curry is a delicacy down there. So I thought it's important that I bring a traditional food here. And besides that, I thought also, because of the kind of spices that go into it, again, it's got a lot of health value, and it's extremely non-fattening and stuff like that, and just a good immunity booster. The curry that comes out of it, usually even women post-pregnancy, we tend to give it to the lady, the mother, to drink it because it's a high immunity booster and good for the baby that's nursing.
Oh, good. Oh my gosh, guys, I gotta wipe my eyes. Woo, that onion's strong.
Very strong onion.
Goodness gracious. Can't do that with mascara.
Right, I diced the tomato and I'm going to get at least 4 cloves of garlic. That gives a nice flavor to it.
Goodness gracious, guys. You know what? You know why this is so having so much of an effect? Because I had the onions out. But you know, it's not that cold out. I mean, not that warm out anymore. So you can have your onions out of the fridge. But the problem is that this is exactly what happens, right? So you get all of that, you know, steam coming off or whatever, the fumes coming off of the onion, so it gets very strong. But if you put them in the fridge before you cut them, you won't get that as much.
Is that right, Nina? I had no idea.
Yep, you won't get it as much. I know people like put a piece of bread between their teeth. Some people do all kinds of things. But honestly, it's just that it's too warm. So when it's cold, oh my goodness, guys, you see me? I'm crying because you're not here with us.
Nina is funny. So Nina, I'm going to chop, now that I chopped around 4 cloves of garlic, and we don't need such a big piece of ginger, just half of the ginger should be good. Because it's a pretty strong piece of ginger that I've got from the Indian store, and it's not the bigger, juicier version.
Oh, okay. Is this like a young ginger?
Yeah, I guess that's right. That is a young ginger, and it's very strong, so you don't want it to be too overpowering.
I love ginger.
Yeah, isn't it? It's like
yeah, I drink it in tea all the time. It's delicious.
Really good for, you know, your gut health and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is. Ginger is a really good immunity booster. That's why they, you know, so many things that you can get for like colds and coughs and stuff is all with ginger in it, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah. So what are we doing with all of that?
All right. So now the next step is that we saute the onion, the ginger, garlic, and the tomato. That's what.
Okay, perfect. So we'll be right back. Let us set up for that. All right, guys, we're back. So Nandita's gonna go ahead and go through this with us. What are we doing?
All right, so we've got our pan ready, and it's already preheating. We want the pan to be nice and hot.
Okay.
And then we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
Let's do that.
I noticed that last time too, like you really like to start in a very hot pan.
Yeah.
Right? Which
because
is great.
I think what happens is it just goes faster in that case, and you're not necessarily waiting for too long for you know your spices to splutter or stuff to fry.
I noticed that last time too, like you and this is a great tip, guys. When you are toasting anything that you want the flavor to come out, you should use a hot pan. Also, even with like nuts, if you have nuts, hot pan, put your nuts in, salt, you know, like move them around a bit and get a nice nutty flavor and scent out of them, because the oils, so this is great. So what are we doing in here? We're doing the
onions first.
Okay, got it.
Let's put in our diced onions, and as you can see, we've just chopped it randomly, and of course Nina's cut it really well, but if it's bigger chunks are fine. You don't have to get too crazy with the size, because eventually it is going to go right into the pan. So we're going to saute. So now is a good time if you want to make it a little low, that's fine, because it's pretty hot. And immediately, like Nina said, the flavors start, you know, diffusing out, which is very important.
And I stopped crying, so
I love crying.
This is excellent. Oh, you smell that? Guys, you can't smell it. Sorry. I wish you could. But this food is like delicious. I am really, really, really excited about this dish, and I hope you guys are going to try it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because there's a lot of great recipes on there. I just posted one recently that was a braised leeks. So I took leeks, I braised them in a little bit of broth, and then I took them out and I put gorgonzola cheese and walnuts on them. Oh my gosh, it was delicious. It was so good.
And you know, friends, like I was mentioning to Nina earlier, though you see this whole spread of spices, it is a pretty quick dish to make. So don't feel overwhelmed by the number of spices that you see. It's all good. Once you have them at home, you can just put it in a lot of other dishes. Be experimental. So now while we're sauteing the onions, we don't necessarily want it to caramelize or any such thing. We just want it to get slightly pink or translucent, and that's good.
That's good to know.
It's not like too time consuming.
Right.
Sometimes I've seen in some stores like Trader Joe's where they have a ready-made paste of onion, tomato. You know, if you want, if you have a very hectic lifestyle, you can substitute it with that. But you know, nothing better than doing it all home.
I was just gonna say that. A lot of times, you know, a lot of things you can get. I highly recommend that you try it yourself before you go and grab them because they put a lot of additives in there to keep it preserved. So they'll have like a ginger garlic paste, right? And I've used it, especially in pinches, like when I have to hurry up and get something done. But honestly, it doesn't taste the same. It doesn't. It doesn't taste the same. It tastes okay, but it's so much better if you got the garlic and you crush it yourself. If you got the ginger and you grate it yourself. It's just better.
And like we saw right now, Nina, when we were chopping this, it was like hardly a minute possibly, a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So it's worth it for your health. And once we get, it's getting aromatic and it's just kind of translucent, and Nina can see if we're ready to put in the ginger chopped, and it's roughly chopped ginger garlic. Don't have to go crazy with making it too tiny or anything.
Yeah. And you know what? This is a good tip also because she has a young ginger. She has what we call a young ginger. The skin of that ginger is very thin. So you don't even need to scrape it off.
You don't need to scrape it
off. Right. Now when you get a much more mature ginger, the big stalks, that's a little bit more woody, so I would probably scrape most of that off. But young ginger, you don't have to do that. I use this in when I make salad dressing. I'll use a young ginger because you don't have to take that skin off.
Exactly. And same goes with even turmeric root. You know, the young turmeric it's really good. It's a lot more healthier. But you know.
Yeah.
If it's out there in the market, it's a good idea.
Well, I mean, I highly recommend, guys, that if you can go to an ethnic market, it's better actually. So I go to Patel Brothers here in Norwalk, and the reason I do that is because they have every spice you can imagine, every flour you can imagine. It's really a great store.
It is.
And you can actually pay the right price there as opposed to going to a supermarket and paying these high prices. So that's what I like. And like the spices that you're going to mention, we could pick those up there.
At Patel Brothers.
Right.
So Nina, I'm going to drop in the tomatoes now.
Beautiful.
And so we're going to give it a slice. Thank you. We're going to stir it in and just let it mix in. And with the tomatoes again, we don't want to really wait till it gets pasty or anything. Just, you know, you see it shrinking a little bit and leaving out a little water, we are good. You don't need to wait for too long.
Good.
But yeah, Mike
oh my gosh. Just like that right now over some steak, you are good to go.
Awesome. So yeah, Patel Brothers is most local over here, but depending on wherever our audience is, you can just Google out any Indian store. And Nina, I think possibly you might even get most of these spices like in the Spanish aisle in many of the stores.
Supermarkets, absolutely. I just think it's something that's special about going to an ethnic store, whatever ethnicity you're cooking from, right? So if you're cooking Jamaican food, try to find a Jamaican market because you're gonna get like authentic stuff there, you know? Same thing with Spanish and Indian, Philippine, Hungarian. Just go to those specialty shops. You would love it. And on top of it, you're gonna discover things you never knew. There's like special treats you never heard of, and you know, things like that. And you're like, what is this? It's a cookie? This is weird. But you taste it and you're like, okay, that's not my favorite thing, you know?
And you know what really is so funny, it might sound silly, but I really like to shop in ethnic markets also because of the ambience and the music that they play is always very, it probably takes you back to their country, right? So it's comforting. So, and I like to explore other ethnic markets.
Yeah, I do too. I try to, when I'm cooking anything ethnic, I really do try to go to those markets to get that, you know, because I think, where else are you going to get like that real deal stuff, right?
Exactly.
Like when I want to make real Mexican food, I go to a couple of the Mexican markets that are out here. Peruvian, I try to do the same because I feel like, well, first of all, you get to experience going down these aisles and looking at what great food they have. But you also like get a better price, to be honest. They sell things at a better price point, you know, so it's not specialty to them, so you don't have to pay such big prices. Yeah.
So Nina, we're good right now. We can turn our thing off, turn it off, and our audience wants to take a look. So we're not really going crazy with sauteing it too long. We're just going to let this cool down for a little bit before we put it in the food processor.
Okay, so I'll take this to the side. Okay. All right. What's the next thing?
So now the next thing is for us is to grind all our dry spices. So I'm going to go through. Thank you, Nina. We can get that here. I'll go through all the spices that we have. And once again, folks, don't get overwhelmed with the number of spices that you see here. If they all are aromatic and very easily available, so absolutely nothing to worry about.
And I think, I'm a chef, and I've been a chef for almost 15-20 years. And Indian food, believe it or not, was one of the ones that I love the most. I love Indian food; it's one of my favorite cuisines. But the hardest I thought to make. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'm not gonna make no Indian food. That's really hard. But it's actually not that hard. It's actually just knowing the spices and how everything goes together. But once you know that, it is so good.
It really is so good.
Yeah.
And once you get into it, you'll understand certain dishes why you would use a certain spice. So for example, I'll start off with the fenugreek seeds. Alright, so what I have, I'm going to start off first by putting a pinch of fenugreek seeds. These are available again in the Indian market. You might even get it on Amazon if that's another great place to shop your spices if you really don't want to get out. So I'm going to just put a pinch of this. Now fenugreek is a very typical spice you would put in seafood because the flavor marries really well with the kind of the flavors of seafood. So I'm just going to put a pinch of
literally
it.
A pinch.
Literally a pinch, because if it can get overpowering, it can kind of also leave a little bit of bitter taste. So that's about all that we need.
Okay.
And once you're with that, pepper is another spice that we're going to use. Again, is literally a pinch, or if you want it like kind of a good spice, like I like it, and I'm sure Nina, I know you got a good tolerance to spice too.
Yeah.
So around, I would say maybe a quarter of a teaspoon possibly. That's how much we're going to put of the black pepper. And then we have coriander seeds. We can go a little more. So these are
those I have. I love coriander seeds.
These are full of whole coriander seeds. We don't want to take the powder. So this again, I'm so used to using my hand as a measurement.
I totally get that.
So this would be around a tablespoon. We want to put more of coriander seeds. So around
maybe like two
tablespoons, I would say.
Perfect.
And then we have cumin seeds. For some reason I call it cumin, I don't know why.
Everybody pronounces it different. Cumin, it's all the same.
How do you pronounce it, Nina?
I say cumin.
Cumin, okay, so let's go with cumin. And this is around a teaspoon of cumin that we would use.
Cumin seeds are so good and fragrant. I use these in rice. Yeah, so I'll put them in like a nice broth or something, and I'll put that. I'll heat these up first in a little oil. You probably do this too.
Yeah, it's called
I heat them up.
rice. Yeah.
What is it called?
Jeera rice.
There you go. See, I was making jeera rice and didn't even know I was doing that. I just like the flavor. Yeah, I love the flavor.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's again a great gut healer, the cumin seeds. And this is my most favorite spice. It's the caraway seeds. I've got many of my friends really hooked onto it. This spice again has got a lot of medicinal value. Like if you have really bad stomach cramps or your abdomen hurting, just take like maybe a teaspoon of.
I've heard that.
Yeah, just take a teaspoon of this in a glass of water and boil it and make like a concoction. Drink it, immediate relief. Sometimes
like a tea.
Like a tea, and you can just take a pinch and eat it. Just like that. It's great for your gut, and it goes really well for this dish. So it's called caraway seeds.
Beautiful.
I'm going to put that in and the Indian name, if you're interested, is called ajwain. And this is our good old mustard seeds. We're going to put mustard. Here again, we just like the fenugreek, we use really little because this again can get bitter since we're not toasting it or anything. So you just want to pick just for that right flavor. We drop that in there.
Nice.
And that's what you're going to put in terms of spices. And then of course we have our chilies. So there are two varieties of chilies that we're going to use for this particular dish.
Okay.
This is the long red dried chili, and if you see, this is smooth. This is smooth.
I do,
one,
yeah.
Right. So this one, this chili is used to make it hot, it a hot dish, right? So I'm going to use at least say 4 to. Nina is like, what?
Do you see this? I was alive when this episode started.
Really, I mean, the fish is absorb it right away. So you will survive, Nina. So I've got around 5 of these hard red chilies.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to put, these are again dried red chilies, but you see they're more crumpled in texture.
What are these called?
These are called bidige munchi.
Bidige munchi.
Okay. So it's basically crumpled, and what this does to the dish is it does not make it. This is not spicy.
Okay.
This is for the color, to bring the color.
It brings like a red color to it.
Yeah, kind of like a brick kind of a color.
Oh, nice.
Not very
nice.
So this is your natural color agent.
Okay.
You know, and it has a very slight spice to it, but it's not too hot. This is the one that gets all the heat.
Okay.
So we're going to put all of those in there.
Beautiful.
And then we've got everything.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, that's not so bad. So, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna spice this. So spice this. We're gonna grind the spices because I know what I'm talking about. So go ahead.
All right. You make a loud noise.
Yep. All right, guys. So now we have already ground it. Why don't you go ahead and let them see what that looks like? It's a beautiful color. Really, really nice. So while she does that, I'm gonna put the tomatoes in here.
So Nina, you want to be careful when you open the spice grinder.
I'm sure you do. I saw those chilies.
You want to make sure that it's on that side, otherwise it'll be like woof, and you would never stop sneezing. So Nina, I'm sure you're already getting the aromatics.
I sure am. Oh my gosh, that smells so good.
So this is what it looks like ultimately once it's ground, all the beautiful colors in there.
Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Oh guys, I wish you were in this kitchen with us. I really, really do. But I hope that you guys are going to be bold enough to give it a shot. And then let us know what you think of it. Like, what did you add something new to it? Did you try a different fish? You know, things like that. We'd love to know. So please comment below. Comment away. I love that. And I will respond. I try to respond to all my comments. Unless you're a troll and you do ugly things, then I'm not responding. Other than that, I'm responding. You know, you get sometimes people that comment that are not very nice, and then I'm like, I'm not answering you. I don't want to see my time like that.
Exactly.
Perfect. So now we're gonna grind the tomato and onion, garlic, ginger.
Yes. We're going to,
All right. I'll make sure to mute this so you guys don't go crazy with all this blending.
I'm just going to chop a little bit of ginger.
Okay.
That's also something that we want to do is we're going to saute very, very little of it, really little bit, just for the flavor, and to just put in a little bit of texture in the dish. So it's a really tiny bit of ginger. I won't even be using this entire piece. It's just like literally 2 slices, just like that.
Oh, very little. Okay.
Very little, and I'm going to chop it really tiny because we are not going to be grinding this, right? So you don't even want it to come into your mouth because it's so big.
Yeah.
So really tiny pieces, and though it's so tiny, it does add a good zest to the dish, you know.
Okay. Plus it's nice and fresh. It's not blended with anything. It's great.
Exactly. And also 1 green chili. You want different varieties of chili.
Alright.
So you can just slit 1 green chili. Nina's like, what?
Girl, I love the way you cook, so it's not gonna bother me.
Alright, so we've got our pan, like a deep pan, it's good for the curry.
Perfect.
So we're going to leave our pan on a really high heat. We want it well heated before we start adding all the stuff together.
So at this point, we're pretty much done with prep?
We are pretty much done with prep, yes.
Wow, that was easy.
That was easy, right,
Yeah.
Nina? Exactly.
Yeah.
So like I said, it just looks overwhelming seeing the number of spices, but you know, once you have this, they're right there in your kitchen cabinet. You're just tossing it. You don't even need to stop. Roast the spices or any such thing. So it's pretty quick.
Yeah, that is pretty quick. That's pretty impressive. So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what basically the base, which is like the curry, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're gonna use everything we've done. So the tomato, the onions, garlic, and ginger. You're gonna do this chili and the garlic as well. Does that go in first?
This will go in first.
Ginger, yes. And then your spices, coconut milk.
Coconut milk
Right.
will go, yes.
Perfect.
Well.
And then our beautiful fish.
and then the beautiful fish. And this also we have a spring of curry leaves.
Oh yeah, I think you introduced me to this last time.
Yeah.
So you don't use the whole thing, do you?
You can use it, especially when there's a coconut dish. This goes really well. The flavors go really well. And another medicinal value, I have to always bring a medicinal value.
No, it's just good, yeah.
It's very good for cholesterol. So the cholesterol that would be in the coconut, but it really doesn't have too much of cholesterol, coconut milk. But this helps to balance off the cholesterol.
And that looks like what? Tamarind?
This one is tamarind, yes.
Yeah.
So once we get everything together, and and you add the tamarind ball and boil it all together, it kind of gets the tartiness to it and it balances off the sweetness of the onion and the coconut.
That's wonderful. I've used tamarind paste, especially when I make Thai food, but I love that she uses like the full whole tamarind like that. It's like all mushed together.
It's all mushed together. It's like the entire, and this again you'll get it in any Indian store, and I'm sure one would get it in Spanish store as well.
You can get it in a Spanish store, Asian stores, because they use it too.
Yeah.
Especially for Thai food.
Thai food as well.
Yep. All right, so we're smoking. So do you want oil?
Yes, please.
Okay, just 1 time, 2 times?
Yeah, that's good.
Good? Okay, let's do it.
So now we want it like really hot. What we're going to do is first we're going to put in the curry leaves. Put all of it. And let's
it
a little bit.
Let's go popping.
Let's go popping. Let's put in the split chilies. And then the ginger.
Okay.
Just give it a slight kind of a stir. At this
She's
point,
hot. She wasn't playing.
Alright, so we got this. You might even want to, before I put this in, would it, I'm not sure how this one will work, but make it really, really low because we're putting in the paste.
Very low, be careful.
Okay, so do we want to turn it off and then
we could
back on? Just to be safe.
Okay.
So we're going to put the paste that we have made. Once the once the curry leaves and ginger, everything, as you can see, is giving out its aroma.
Oh my gosh, that smells.
And we can turn it back on, Nina.
Turn it back on?
And put it on low, please.
Yes. Watch it. Step back for a second. Okay, there you go.
That's
low.
Just put those in mayonnaise.
Guys, it smells so good in here. So good. Oh my gosh, I want her here every week. So next week we're making.
We should make this a weekly.
Oh my gosh, you don't know. I would love that. Really. We need to talk about that. I mean, maybe her family won't want to get rid of her every week.
Believe me, I'm sure they need to get rid of me by now.
So fun. So fun. All right.
As you can see, it's kind of bubbling, and here you want to give it a little more. You want it to kind of really release the oil and give a little more aroma.
Do you want it to become like a drier paste in there?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. All right.
That we do for more meat dishes like chicken and goat meat. We want to make it like really dry.
Okay.
Because that meat kind of demands that kind of flavor.
Okay.
This one does not demand that flavor. So I would say maybe another minute.
Okay.
Or even less for this to kind of.
Okay. This is great. So, is this something that you make at home too with your family, like this kind of dish?
Yeah? I would make it at least once a week. I'd make this dish.
Okay.
And sometimes if you don't want to if you don't have fish, you can put vegetables in it. You can put like cauliflower.
Oh, good.
Carrot.
See, guys. So those of you who don't eat any kind of fish or meat, you can actually do a vegetarian style, right? So that's great.
Absolutely.
Actually, even vegan, really, because there's nothing. There's nothing in here that that would have like dairy or anything. She's using coconut milk.
Right.
So, which, as you guys know who follow me, that I can't have dairy anyway, especially cow milk. So
we're going to use some water.
Water? Hot
or regular water is good.
Okay.
And you want to use the same jar because there's such a lot of residue.
I don't know how much you want.
The entire one. So at least we're going to put in at least say 3 cups of water in this now. So I'm going to pour this in because we want a good curry, right? So we can let it.
You want more?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Wow.
So maybe we'll go for another half.
Sure.
Half So we can pour in a little and see as it condenses. Maybe if you want to add more.
Okay.
You can leave this to the side. So far, we've roughly put around 2 cups, 2 and a quarter of
water.
I'm not sure how many ounces this is, but
okay.
Pretty much what it looks like. So now we want this to start boiling.
Really okay, so we're gonna wait for this to get into a rapid boil.
So in the meantime, while you've increased the heat, we're gonna put a little bit of turmeric. Okay. I would put maybe say half a teaspoon of turmeric.
Oh, not much.
This again, not too much. Turmeric again is very medicinal, so everything with medicine you want to put like a little bit.
Okay.
And then I've got some Himalayan
That's what
salt.
I use.
You use it too.
It's my favorite salt.
Right.
There's a lot of great minerals in it, so it's very good for cooking. It also is not a finishing salt, guys. So if you use like a Himalayan sea salt, it's really to cook with. You have to cook and let it melt down. It doesn't like really melt if you like sprinkle it, say, over like a salad or so. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll still have the grains. For something like a salad or something, you want something light, like a molten salt. A kosher salt will be fine because kosher melts very quickly. But a Himalayan sea salt or any kind of rock or sea salt, you have to melt it into the food. And then you have to also let it melt in, or you're gonna taste, if I taste this right now, it won't taste salty. And then she's gonna put more, and then before you know it, now all that melted, now it's gonna be salty. You know?
It kicks in later.
So there are reasons for different types of salt, just so that you guys know that.
So Nina, we want to give it a really good boil. So we put the lid, but before that, I'm going to go ahead and put the tamarind.
Okay.
So that in the heat, it kind of disintegrates and gets all the flavors out of it.
Okay.
So you want to make it like quite tarty because the fish will absorb everything. So it might then that's why you want to put a little extra tamarind so that way it doesn't taste bland.
Okay.
So this is the size of the ball, I would say.
Okay.
So, but when you're putting it, you want to open it up and put it in. It's really good. It's a great, kind of ingredient to put in your food because it's a substitute for putting, ready-made lemon or something.
I was just gonna say lemon or something tart, right?
Something
like lime or whatever.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
now, do you put spices in at all or no? Like that or no?
we will put it.
Oh, not yet. Okay, so we're gonna let this go into a boil and we'll be right back. All right, so in case you guys didn't see, there's some steam coming out.
Oh boy, look at it all boiling.
Woo,
so
look at that baby.
Let's put that aside, and it's like really boiling, and that's what we want. And now is a good time to put in all the lovely spices, Nina, that we had brown.
Oh man, that's gonna give us so much flavor.
Yeah.
That was a lot of spices, which you combine so many different spices. I cannot wait to try this dish. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be delicious. So your family is very lucky. They get to eat this stuff all the time.
But yeah, that's the thing. We should ask them whether they think they're lucky or not. Or they're just tortured with
Isn't that always the way? I mean, sometimes we don't appreciate our own culture because we get like immune to it because we always have it around us, and then you don't appreciate it, But like Indian food, because it's one of my favorite cuisines to have, I think I would love to eat that every day. But you're right. I guess if you're born in it and raised in it and stuff, then you're probably like, it's just Indian food, it's just Spanish food. I mean, but some people when they come here and they'll have like if I make a Puerto Rican dish, or they're like, oh my God, this is the best, and I'm like, it's just. It's Puerto Rican food. But yeah, we should really appreciate where we come from because it is really awesome that we can be from different ethnicities and still like love and respect each other and love and respect our culture and food. It's so fun, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it.
And I think each one's cuisine from whichever part of the world our ancestors are from, that really is part of who we are as well. So it's and it's nice to share it with each other. Like
it is so much fun.
All right, so now as you can see, Nina enjoying all the aromatic.
Yes, I am. I just want to dive in.
Before that, we're going to put the good old coconut milk in, right?
Would you do it now while it's rapid boiling? Okay.
I'll do it right now.
So you're not really looking for this to reduce to okay, great.
It's
going to be soupy.
It'll be soupy, that's what we want. And I've seen out in the market where they have some kind of fat-free coconut milk and stuff. We don't want to use that.
No, don't do that.
We don't want to use that.
Don't use fat-free coconut milk. Who does that?
Sorry.
It's okay. I'll step back.
So we can put the entire tin since we got a lot of fish that we want to cook. So depending on the quantity of fish that one has, if we were using half of what we were using, then you'd use just half a tin.
Okay.
But this will add good flavor.
Can I try?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
Oh, it's spicy.
So Nina, if it gets too spicy for you or for our audience out there, they can add more water. Or if they want, they can add a little bit more coconut milk. So it'll kind of reduce the spice for them.
Probably not spicy to you at all, are you? Probably like, I need a couple more chilies.
But we will give Nina's taste and her.
No, it's actually really, really good. It is spicy, but it's not killing me. It's really good.
Right. And another thing, Nina, is once you put the fish in, it will mellow it.
Yeah. And we're gonna serve this over a little bit of rice, but you can use anything like do a riced cauliflower or something like that would be really nice over this. Maybe even like some nice potatoes or something, I would assume, right? Because you have the sauce, so.
Right.
So
it's very typically eaten with plain white rice because it's so flavorful. You want to have something that's more bland. And where it's originated from, like down in the south of India, they use the red rice, that's unpolished red rice.
Nice.
So that's like the ultimate combination.
Yeah, I should have went and got some next time.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, white rice is absolutely fine.
Now I haven't cooked with red rice. Is it cooked longer than white rice?
A lot longer.
Because it still has like the pressure cooker is the best, isn't it?
It's really
Get a pressure cooker.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. If you don't have a pressure cooker, I really do recommend one. It cooks white rice in 4 minutes. 4 minutes. But I make stews in there and everything, especially because I work a lot. So when I come home, I don't want to be on top of the stove for hours. So I throw everything into my pressure cooker and it's done.
It's done.
Wonderful.
It's a really good equipment to have.
Yeah.
So we're looking at this, and I can just show you the consistency. It's kind of watery, and that's what we want.
It's like a soupy.
It's kind of soup, exactly. And now is a good time for us to drop the fish.
Oh, already? Great. Grab it. All right.
And we can just keep putting pieces into it.
Careful. You can use your spoon too if it's too hot for you. She's like, girl, I've done this 1,000 times.
Yeah. And it's so funny. I remember when my mom would cook, and we're like, "Mom, look at you! Look at your hand so close to the fire." And she was like, "Yeah, I got it." And now my kids say the exact same things to me, and I'm like, "My goodness." My mom must have been like, "Guys, I know what I'm doing."
Exactly. Yeah.
So just use everything.
Beautiful.
And as we know, Nina, this is a really great fish to cook. You don't need to cook it for too long because it cooks almost immediately. But you want to cook it long enough so that its flavors marry into the spices. So we will turn it. Keep it on. Sorry.
And that's why you're using a firmer fish, guys, because if you use something like a halibut in here or something, it would fall apart very quickly. So you need a firm fish. So just remember that when you go shopping. But like I said, you just have to reinvent things sometimes.
You need to reinvent.
Yeah.
And like I was saying at the onset, this is a great dish to put even mackerel fish into it.
The mackerel, yes.
That is truly what brings its flavor as well. But I always put salmon, and this is also a great substitute.
Yeah. So this is a steelhead. For those of you who missed it in the beginning, this is a steelhead trout. It is farm raised. I know some people don't like any farm raised, and that's fine. Go get a wild caught one. But the steelhead trout has a very familiar taste and texture to salmon. And I'm allergic to salmon. I don't know why. There's something in salmon that I'm allergic to, but I am. So I asked her if we can use something similar. She said yes, so that's why we got the steelhead trout. And I think you guys will like it. I think it's going to be amazing. I could smell it from here, so it's only going to take like literally 6 to 8 minutes for the fish to cook.
Yeah, and you don't want to stir it around because it's going to break
it.
So you just want to kind of take the curry and put it all around, make sure that.
Let me grab this way. That way that camera can see there.
I'm just putting it around. Sometimes if one can put the lid and hold it with two kitchen cloth and just kind of give it a slight tilt.
Yeah.
Keep with firm hands, and so that everything is getting mixed in properly.
Yeah, and I have kitchen towels. Did you want to do that, or you?
Yeah, we can always demonstrate with that. Okay. I can use this. I'm just going to make it. slow.
Yeah.
So this is a good way to hold it and just kind of turn it around like that, but make sure that you're holding it really firm. And this way,
Yeah, that way you get the bottom ones,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
making sure that everything is
sense.
getting it.
So guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and make sure that you're clicking below the subscribe and the little bell notification so you get notified every time we do a video. I also want to make sure that you have any questions at all, go ahead and ask down in the comments below, and I'll make sure that if I can't answer it, I'll ask Nandita and she can answer it for you. You can also email me at hello@memoirsofafatgirl.live. Make sure it's .live, and I will go ahead and get back to you as soon as I can. While you're on here, just make sure that you go out and check out some other videos. I just did a chocolate chip almond cookie. And they are keto, so they are. I use Sucrin Gold, and on that video I didn't use monk fruit, but I did add it in after to another recipe, and it was perfect. So make sure that you guys check those out. We also have our boot camp, so it's a fat girl boot camp, but any age, any gender, any size are coming out. So we have about 20 to 26 people that come out every week, 3 times a week, and we work out really hard. But so rewarding, you know, like there's kids there from like 13 years old. I think the oldest person is maybe close to 55, 60 or something. So it's every age. There's boys, girls, men, women. It doesn't matter. We're all out there just trying to be healthy. Just trying to be healthy. So we do it on our own pace. If you are local, just go ahead and email me at hello@memoirsofafatgirl.live, and I'll tell you all the details, when to come out, when to be with us, the whole thing. It's really a lot of fun and worth it. So please don't say to me, oh, I'm too fat, or I can't, or I'm not healthy enough, because people say that. I promise you, you can do it at your pace. I promise you. I have about 70 something pounds to lose, and I'm out there doing it. And so if I can do it, you can do it. You can do it. It's super easy. I mean, not super easy, but it's easy to come out and try. It's easy to come out and try. I mean, it's either that or sit on the couch and don't do it. I always say
I might give it a shot as well.
You should. You should. It's Monday and Wednesdays at 5:45 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 6:30 a.m. Right? But Saturdays it's so great because you get up early, you get it done, you're finished. Like your whole day, you have the whole day to do what you want, you know? So that's really, really great. And you should join us because I feel like the best time to start was 20 years ago, but if you didn't start 20 years ago, today is the best time. Yeah. Perfect. All right, so this looks like it's, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be done.
It's done. And
let me go get a plate. All right, guys, so I had already made some rice. It's a little bit cooled down, but it doesn't even matter because this is piping hot. The fish stew, the curry is really warm. So I'm gonna show you what this is gonna look like. So we're gonna put some rice here. Is that okay? Is that enough?
That's good, Nina.
Okay.
So you want to really soak the rice with the curry.
Yes. And, yes, you do. Oh my gosh.
Can you put another piece of fish?
Yeah. Hello.
Alright.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can see that. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Let's serve.
Nina, what rice is this?
This is just a plain white long grain rice.
That's good. Thank you.
Welcome.
A whole lot of curry. You gotta guys really enjoy the dish. Sit on your dining table. Don't switch on your TV. Don't look into your phones. Just enjoy the flavors and feed your body well.
All right, so we are going to try this so that you can see that it's delicious. Then we're gonna close out so me and her can sit down at a table with a nice cup of I don't know, bubbly or something, and enjoy ourselves. So cheers.
Cheers.
Enjoy. Look at that, it's so tender inside. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that's so good. Oh, I gotta sit down and enjoy that. But anyway, guys, I'm so sorry that you couldn't be here enjoying this with us. But please make it. Oh man, that's really, really good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad Nandita came by. I hope she comes by again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That is super important. We're trying to grow this healthy community, okay? So help me do that. This is Nina Perez, your host. This is Nandita, and we are here And Memoirs of a Fat Girl, until next time, fat out.